they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, add that play to his resume reel because he went to the Pro Bowl last year. That's how you go to the Pro Bowl. You make plays like that, big-time penetration, and throw people for losses.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. 4th down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. Oh, offensive nightmare there. You go for it on 4th, and the play doesn't even really get to develop a sack.
And it's so unfortunate, too, because you think you've got something good called, but if your offensive line can't hold up, that's often the result. They find a way back to the quarterback.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 27.
You ready?
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Over the middle, complete. That's Carr. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
They didn't get the 1st down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the 1st. This is taken around the 12. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times, at any spot.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Buffalo after this. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And on the ground they go with a running back. That running right through it. And down he'll go at the 25. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Up there, they elect to go on 4th and 11.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney! Leopard!
They're going to try and throw. Wide open receiver complete. 4th down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. They'll set up a throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. A huge play there for Houston. 55 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Eluding the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And they'll go on the ground. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It'll be a gain of 5, but they do keep him out of the end zone, and now it's 4th down.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll throw now for the final play. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. Set now to go for the 3rd quarter. The Saints have the lead, and like they needed something to get them going. Maybe you wait for this type of a play, but they try the onside kick, and it works.
I'm starting to wonder if the analytics coach is starting to get involved in the football nowadays. When you see this type of play made, this type of a risk taken, sometimes there's a different influences going into the head coach's ear.
And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A big play there. 55 yards. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Incomplete. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. You know what? We got a second. I did want to take a look back to the Hall of Fame inductions. Took place in Canton on August 4th, and What stood out to you from the ceremonies, from the speeches that you heard?
Well, for me, beside the speeches, just remembering their careers, I really flashed back at how much I enjoyed watching Brian Dawkins play, and his speech was terrific as well. Robert Dr. Doom Brazil with the Houston Oilers, absolutely loved him as a player. And Jerry Kramer had to wait so long with the Green Bay Packers. For him to get in, I thought was terrific, and I can't wait for next year. First ballot eligible guys, Tony Gonzalez, Ed Reed, and Champ Bailey. That's a strong class.
Another star-studded cast. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And Gibbs got it. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Breeze to another long-time vet, Ginn, for the New Orleans first.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, how to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, churning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down.
Well, that's the deal. On third down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
Ingram again. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Ready. You're waiting.
Now Breeze on third down. Caught on the left side by Ginn. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one goes for 29 yards on third down. This is Ingram on first and 10. Ingram churning. He lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Leopard! Leopard!
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's second down.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Leopard! Leopard!
Back to throw. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan in there to record another sack. Their 6th of the afternoon. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. He's going to air one. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the sticks make a drastic shift forward. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll be inside the line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Back now in Buffalo. 7-7 is our score. Pretty even matchup so far as we start quarter number 4.
Leopard! Leopard!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Bolton. He juked him. And he's got some space here. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. 35 yards. And the Texans are in for 6.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense, right?
That's true. You've said that before. And here's Lewis. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt they were in striking distance. And
a breakaway for Michael Thomas. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 72 yards. And the Saints can take the lead if they can hit the extra point. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Alex Okafor in there with pressure yet again. And that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. He'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get him down here at the 23. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. A huge play there for Houston. 59 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead.
Leopard! Leopard!
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. He's going to get it running right. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Call it no gain then. Now it's 3rd and goal. Now they'll run it on the toss. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Flushed out right. And no, it's incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and the Saints will have the football back. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized, you know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you. You know, if people are going to go for it on 4th down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
36.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Breeze gives it out to Ingram. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Wasn't able to get anything, no gain. Fumbled once already. Maybe he's being a little careful. Not necessarily on that play, but I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt, because protecting the football is job one for anyone who's carrying it. And that's exactly what he tried to do on that play, but it didn't gain him any yardage.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now out comes Houston. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they... That's caught inside the 20. A huge play there for Houston. 65 yards.
Lucky 56.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
Well, I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. So a very short kick here. Now on the return. Oh, no, the ball is loose. And the Texans scoop it. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football.